The following program is being brought to you on the Voice America Women's Channel. For more information about our network and to check out additional show hosts and topics of interest, please visit voiceamericawomen.com. The Voice America Talk Radio Network is the worldwide leader in live Internet talk radio. Visit voiceamerica.com. The views and ideas expressed on the following program are strictly those of the host or guests and do not necessarily reflect the views and ideas held by the Voice America Talk Radio Network, its staff, and management.
Welcome to Empowering Women, Transforming Lives with Rebecca Hall Gruyter. In our program each week, we provide the tools, ideas, and encouragement to help you move ahead on your journey, becoming a more powerful and impactful woman in your own life. Now here's your host, Rebecca Hall Gruyter.
Welcome to the show, everyone. I hope that you're having an absolutely amazing day. Excited to be connecting with you live, heart to heart, as we talk about building your life powerfully. And the most powerful way we can do that is when we play to our strengths, and when we play our way, the way that we're wired, the way that we're made. And that's what we're going to be talking about today. I invite you to pull up a chair, pause, breathe in deeply, and connect with us heart to heart as we tap into some amazing experts to support us, because I have discovered life is not a solo journey. We need each other on the path. And so today, I welcome you and I encourage you to allow us to connect with you, to pour into you so that you can build your life on purpose and with great purpose, to be nourished, empowered, and equipped. Pick up some great tools, tips, and ideas to support you on your journey. That's what our intention and our heart is today as we connect in. And I wanted to share something with you. And as I was getting ready for today's show and just kind of tuning in and feeling in, I was reminded about purpose. And I even talked about this on our Global Shine Community platform this morning as we were connecting in, that I had years where I struggled with, what is my purpose? I have to have a purpose. There needs to be a way that I'm wired, that I'm made. There's got to be something I need to share with the world. And I felt all of this pressure, and I spent a lot of time and a lot of energy wrestling with that. On the outside, I was smiling. I was doing all the things that I did in my life and my work. But inside, it was something I wrestled with and I struggled with. And when I would share that and the intensity of which I wanted to have purpose and meaning in my life, I felt like I didn't know where to go. And it became this heavy, hard thing. And then at one point, I gave up. Oh, I just guess I can't be living on purpose. I don't know how, and relaxed into the rhythm of my life. And as I started to pause, as I started to feel into how I was made and started to learn where I started and stopped, a magical thing happened. I discovered my purpose along the way. And here's some things that helped me discover that helped me feel into that the more I was willing to lean into how I was made, my strengths, my gifts, my talents, my abilities, even my unique perspective on the world, the more I was doing that and being fully who I am, the more I happened to be on my purpose. So I discovered they're actually tied together. And I believe that our purpose is to really share our gifts and our talents with the world, that they're given to us on purpose and for a purpose. And we get caught up and make it a lot harder and a lot more complicated than it needs to be, trying to discover how and why and all of these things. Whereas if we can instead spend a little bit more time on being, discovering the way we're wired, the way we're made, what our gifts and our talents are. Do some exploration in that. even the way we hold energy, even the way that we connect with others, because some of the greatest impact we can have is being willing to share the gift of who we are with others. People will remember our energy, the way we made them feel, our unique perspective on something, our laugh. They're going to remember our smile. They're going to remember those places where they connected with you deeply, far more than they remember what you did. So being is really important to our purpose, and discovering how we're wired, discovering what our strengths are, discovering some of our gifting is really important on that journey. But we have to always remember to pause, to allow ourselves to process what we're learning on a cellular level, to choose how we spend our time, how we spend our energy, where we share our gifts and our talents and our abilities, because nobody else can make those decisions for us, and we tend to go into autopilot. And the day passes us by, and the next day, and the next day, and it's a week, a month, a year. But if we can slow down just a little bit and remember to pause, like you're doing today with us, and be purposeful in what we step forward, that's how we step into our purpose. We live who we are. We live our purpose and on purpose. Let's breathe that in. And today, we have experts that are going to help us tap into on that journey of living life on purpose and living powerfully, how we can tap into our subconscious, how we can tap into that part of ourselves, how we can tap into the way we're wired, which also gives us clues to our purpose. So we've got some great experts that are going to help us on this journey. So I just want you to relax into that. Know that we're right here with you. But let's take a moment to pause and see what is being spoken into you, what it is that you need today, so that you get the most out of our time together, most out of our conversation. Those of you who are driving, I invite you to stay safe, please. Both hands on the wheels, eyes open, alert, just inwardly tuning in. Those of you who are able to, though, I invite you to pull up that chair. Put both feet on the ground, on the floor there. Feel it supporting you, holding you. And then go ahead and put one hand on your heart, one hand on your head, bringing all of you in, mind, body, soul, and spirit, and close your eyes. Removing distractions. You're absolutely safe. And in this space, take a deep breath. Breathe in through your nose, deep into your belly. See how big you can make your belly. And then breathe out through your mouth like through a straw. Beautiful. Go ahead and take another deep breath. And keep breathing this way. This will lower your stress levels, your cortisol levels, help you become very present so that you're open, ready to receive and hear exactly what is here for you today. But in this space with your eyes closed, I want you to think about building your life powerfully and purposely, thinking about, are you feeling like you're sharing more of who you are? Are you playing more in your area of purpose, more to your strengths? Just feel in. Or are you wanting some support, or where are you wanting support in that? Because we all need support on the journey. But it's helpful to know where we need that support. So just feel in, what is it that you need today that will help you live more powerfully, more on purpose? What is it that you need that will support you in this? Just receive that information. And then I invite you to ask a second question. The second part to that is, and are willing to receive. So the first part is, what is it you need today? And are willing to receive. Because that can sometimes shift the answer. So let's fine-tune what it is that you need and are willing to receive. Go ahead and receive that information. Come back into the room fully present, eyes open, alert, ready to receive, and write that information down. I want you to keep it top of mind, what it is that you need and are willing to receive. So easy to get distracted, to forget, and instead I want you to keep it top of mind, leaning in with anticipation, open to how it may come, but that you know what it is you need and are willing to receive. It'll make it a lot easier to recognize it and see it when it comes. Beautiful. Let's take a breath together. Wonderful. And we're going to go around our virtual room here, and I'm going to invite each of my experts just to share 10 seconds, 20, 30 seconds, something that was laid on their heart when we paused for a moment and listened. So Sandra, I'd love to have you share.
Well, I thought of the purpose that we can define from your fingerprint patterns. It's the purpose you were born with, and that's the thing that I want to share with everyone. I think it's most important.
Beautiful that we were born with our purpose, and there's actually a guide like that we can tap into. Beautiful. Thank you. And Mary Beth, did you have something laid on your heart?
I did. It resonated very well with what you said, and I think, as you were saying, the struggle, it's so simple that it's not easy to find our purpose. Yes. But there are ways to do it, and once it happens, it just starts with this little small voice or small flame until it implodes your whole mind, and you're just living in this bliss and this joy and you don't even realize it's your purpose. It's something that just overtakes you, and that's when you know that it's your purpose. For me, anyway.
Beautiful. I love that, because we can make things more complicated than they need to be. So that's really beautiful, and it's great to have indicators to kind of know when we're on purpose and in alignment and when we're not. So that joy, that feeling of it almost taking over and you being fully who you are, really great indicators of that. So beautiful, beautiful share. Thank you. Mm-hmm. Listeners, as we get ready to go to our first commercial break, they are secretly 2-minute moments just for you. So I invite you during these next 2 minutes to continue listening, seeing what is on your heart. Allow yourself time to process on a cellular level what is being spoken into you, so that when we come back, you're fully present and ready to lean into the next part of our conversation. I look forward to talking to you in just a moment.
Voice America Women. Your passion starts here. Tune in to the Just Jan TV show at justjantvshow.com. Visionary women's leader Jan Jorgensen is inspiring, practical, and visionary. Jan brings us everyday transformational emerging leaders, courageously changing the world by speaking and living their truth. Sit around the table with us for profound feminine wisdom, insights, and connection. Be sure to join us at justjantvshow.com. New episodes are every Tuesday at 11 a.m. Pacific Time at justjantvshow.com.
Rebecca Hall Gruyter's Speaker Talent Search is looking for speakers wanting to get on more stages. With just one audition, you could open the doors to hundreds of speaking opportunities, reach more people, and expand your impact. Finalists get to audition live in front of leaders looking to fill all kinds of speaking opportunities. Apply now at speakertalentsearch.com. That's speakertalentsearch.com. We look forward to hearing your message.
Announcing a powerful new TV channel featuring programs designed to enhance and transform your life. Make powerful connections, one program at a time. And by doing so, we can bring transformation to the world. Tune in each week to Empowered Connections TV as we add new programs to help you make empowered connections of your own. Visit empoweredconnectionstv.com. That's empoweredconnectionstv.com. And make the most of an incredible life transformation.
For women, the pressure to achieve is stronger, the work hours longer, and the struggle for respect and authority more complex than ever. You want guidance on how to succeed, and you are not alone. You're invited to take your coffee break with Game Changers on Tuesdays at 9 a.m. Pacific, 12 p.m. Eastern for our special series, Game Changing Women. Powerful women leaders will help you make sense of it all, analyze how you can change the game, and share their playbooks. Game Changing Women, presented by SAP on the Business Channel.
Become our friend on Facebook. Post your thoughts about our shows and network on our timeline. Visit facebook.com/Voice America.
You're listening to Empowering Women, Transforming Lives with your host, Rebecca Hall Gruyter. If you have a question or comment for Rebecca or her guest, we'd love to hear from you. Please call into the program at 1-866-613-1612. That's 1-866-613-1612. You may also send an email to Rebecca at yourpurposedrivenpractice.com. Now back to Empowering Women, Transforming Lives.
Welcome back, everyone. I hope that you enjoyed those 2 minutes. You're going to have opportunities throughout the show for these 2-minute moments to pause, breathe, and really process real time on a cellular level the information that's being shared and spoken into your heart and spirit, because you're going to receive information from what we're sharing as well as what is being shared within your spirit, within your knowledge as well. So you're going to experience both. So every commercial break, those are 2 minutes for you, and I invite you to really practice being present and receiving. That way, by the end of the show, you have processed a lot of our information, a lot of what's being given to you real time, and you're able to go back out into the world in that way. So I'm really encouraged building that muscle. But you got to hear a little bit of the heart of our experts as we opened the show this morning and shared from our hearts. And I wanted to take a moment to formally introduce one of our guest experts and have a deeper conversation. So Mary Beth Stevenson is a life mastery dream builder coach, a consultant, hypnotherapist, and speaker that is absolutely passionate about helping you tap into the power of the subconscious mind so you can step forward powerfully. Please lean in. Warmly welcome the amazing Mary Beth Stevenson to the show. Welcome.
I'm sending fireworks through the
air. Beautiful.
Hi, everybody.
Excited to have you. Welcome. They all say hi back.
Thank you.
Well, I'd love to have you share why this work of helping people around the subconscious mind is personally so important to you, that you devote so much time and energy helping others in this. We'd love to know.
I don't know any other way of life. So this has always been my life, just even from when I was a child. So, while other children were reading books, I was listening to Joseph Murphy, The Power of the Subconscious Mind, and Wayne Dyer, Your Erroneous Zones, before he became spiritual. So I was blessed to be born opposite of what I was born, what they would say awakening or woke, or, I was born that way. And for me, I know what it's like to give and live in this almost bubble and sashay through life with your higher self. And it's just synchronicity is consistently coming into your life. And if you're not doing what you love, you will miss every opportunity that could get you to the place where you're loved. So when you said, it's don't put so much pressure on yourself, that you hit the nail right on the head. Because the thing is, if you enjoy, and I'm going to go just extreme here, if you enjoy pumping gas, or the universe has led you to pump gas, and you're happy doing that, the next client that you pump gas for could be, your amazing business client that gets you into the corporate world. And for anyone out there who's thinking, oh yeah, right, that happened to me. That literally happened to me. So, and it's not that I was happy doing what I was doing. I was waitressing, and the owner of a very big company came in, and he's like, what do you, I said, oh, I'm quitting this job. It was just too much for me. And I wasn't going to go in that night. Something made me go in. And he said, listen, if you're going to quit, you come work for me. And he owned a hotel. One hotel turned into hundreds of hotels and casinos. And, I got to live exactly my dream, exactly what I love to do. I got to be Mary Beth and be paid for it. So it can happen. And then it didn't. I went through, in my 40s, I just went through, living this blissful life my whole life. And don't misunderstand me, there were traumas.
Well, actually, Mary Beth, let me stop you here just for a moment, because you've been sharing a lot of great information. I just want to give our listeners an opportunity to process and receive some of what you're sharing. So I love how you're sharing this, do what you love and lean into that. But I'm also hearing this kind of listening to that prompting, because you weren't going to go in, but you went in anyway and just trusted that what needed to unfold would, and you were willing to trust that and lean into those opportunities. So that's some of what I'm hearing, is you're sharing a little bit of your why and leaning into our purpose and to fully being who we are. Is that a fair share?
It is. And the thing is, Rebecca, when that happens, at least for me, I don't have any great, some people have these magical experiences. It's not that I heard somebody say, go to work or, whatever. It was a natural thing. I'm like, oh, I think I'll just go in tonight anyway, get it over with. You have to trust that part. It's not always going to come down from, above and, with the wand magically telling you what to do. It's just that little instinct that you have, that you're not even, maybe you don't feel that it's, like you said in the beginning, it's not, don't put pressure, just be. Be you.
Yes. Beautiful. Yes. And that leaning in and trusting that is enough. But I want to talk a little bit about the subconscious, because I know that's key to a lot of the work that you're passionate about and you help people in. And sometimes that can be that prompting or why we're paying attention to one thing or not another. So can you talk about why it's important that we tap into the subconscious?
The subconscious mind is the connection to the universal mind. Whatever we say and feel is what the subconscious will give us. And with that, we have to remember the subconscious has no sense of humor. So, when you're joking around, and saying, there's many, many stories of people that were very, very wealthy and said, oh, this house, I'm sick of it, someday I'm going to live in a trunk. And so they did. And, so your conscious mind is your logical mind that will try and stop you every time you're going somewhere that you want to go. So you have to remember that. Like, you will always have something inside that is sabotaging our natural drive toward the freedom. It will whine, it will roar, it will try to stop you whenever you push beyond your comfort. And, discontentment means growth. So the subconscious mind it holds everything. And when you speak to that, it's the universal mind. And it's like if you are on a computer and you order a size 6 shoe, the computer doesn't say to you, well, you really wear a size 9. It just sends you a size 6. So specificity is of so much importance. This world,
Let's just take a moment there too. Yeah, I know so much. So let's just take a moment, and listeners, it's good to just check in and see, what have you been telling yourself? Are we being sarcastic? Are we joking?
Exactly.
Are we really pay attention to what you're telling yourself and what you're speaking out loud, because you're creating what is. And I think it's important you take a moment to just check in. And
exactly.
If
be mindful.
not, be mindful. If not, we can shift the conversation. You can shift what you're starting to claim and talk about and bringing forward. Now, our time is going really, really quickly. Okay. But I wanted to just give you a moment that you could share about, what is this law of attraction? How does this tie into our conversation?
Okay, law of attraction it's almost on the same subject. Whatever you're giving your feelings and your thoughts to is going to benefit. It used to be about affirmations, and you could think it to happen. Now it's about the heart. You have to feel it as if it's already there. That's basically the law of attraction. Now is, when you want to create something, you have to know the power that you have inside of you. You are the power of creation. Everything you see, touch, and feel is an illusion. It was just somebody's creation. They thought it and it happened. So we are all that powerful. And when you can tap into the you and realize that the law of attraction will be everything you think and feel will come into your life, wanted or unwanted.
So to me, this is tying the heart and the mind together, is what I'm hearing.
Correct.
So thinking it and feeling it and tying that all together, to be very mindful and purposeful. Because if we know this is part of how we're wired, part of how we're made, then we can tap into that and start harnessing that, in a sense, towards where we want to go, what we want to create, versus what maybe is happening and familiar that we perhaps don't want. Is that fair and true?
Yes. I want to say just one more thing to that. When you invite people over for dinner, you expect them to come. You set the table, you get everything ready, they knock on the door, and they come. Why would you doubt something that you're saying to the universe any less? In other words, when you feel it and you say it, you have to act and every day as if it's there, as if you're already there. And trust me, don't ask how. Never ask the universe how. Just tell it what you want, know that it's good for all and harmful to no one, and golden pathways will be put before you with the how. And Beautiful. I know my time is up.
Beautiful. No, I think that's really, really valid. And I think this is a great place for us to transition into our next commercial break. And I invite you, listeners, as we're doing that, to really reflect on these things. Let's just take a moment to check in and see what you're thinking and you're feeling. And is that serving you and where you're wanting to go? Or is there perhaps a shift that is needed to help you go where you're wanting to go and build what you're wanting to build, that is more on purpose, more in alignment with how you're wired and how you're made? I'm going to invite you to spend time these next 2 minutes looking into that, feeling into that, and I want an extra credit bonus opportunity, stretch you to claim something today, now, during those 2 minutes that you are wanting to bring it forward. I want to shift some of the thinking to claim what matters to you and treat it like an order. I love that. Like, you go on the computer, you order size 6. So put your order in. And we'll look forward to talking to you in just a moment.
This is the Voice America Women's Channel, where your success is limitless.
Rebecca Hall Gruyter's Speaker Talent Search is looking for speakers wanting to get on more stages. With just one audition, you could open the doors to hundreds of speaking opportunities, reach more people, and expand your impact. Finalists get to audition live in front of leaders looking to fill all kinds of speaking opportunities. Apply now at SpeakerTalentSearch.com. That's SpeakerTalentSearch.com. We look forward to hearing your message.
Relationship issues? Anxious? Parenting challenges? No more. Learn to live your best life. Tune into Straight Talk with top therapist, relationship, and anxiety expert Sandra Reads. Learn to transform your challenges into effective solutions. Whether it's relationships, parenting, anxiety, or other traps, Sandra will show you how you can live the life of your dreams. Listen live every Thursday afternoon at 6 p.m. Eastern Time and 3 p.m. Pacific Time on the Voice America Health and Wellness Channel.
Have you had a chance to check out Voice America's online magazine and blog, Press Pass? If you love our hosts and shows, check out articles that give an even deeper perspective. Plus topics about health and fitness, movie reviews, philosophy, business tips and tactics, spirituality, positive thought, current events, and even more about your favorite host. It's just a click away at vapresspass.com. That's vapresspass.com. VA Press Pass by Voice America. All access, all the time.
Announcing a powerful new TV channel featuring programs designed to enhance and transform your life. Make powerful connections, one program at a time. And by doing so, we can bring transformation to the world. Tune in each week to Empowered Connections TV as we add new programs to help you make empowered connections of your own. Visit empoweredconnectionstv.com. That's empoweredconnectionstv.com. And make the most of an incredible life transformation. Follow us on Twitter at VoiceAmericaTRN. Get the lowdown on guests, new shows, and your favorites. That's VoiceAmericaTRN.
You're listening to Empowering Women, Transforming Lives with your host, Rebecca Hall Gruyter. If you have a question or comment for Rebecca or her guest, we'd love to hear from you. Please call into the program at 1-866-613-1612. That's 1-866-613-1612. You may also send an email to Rebecca at yourpurposedrivenpractice.com. Now back to Empowering Women, Transforming Lives.
Welcome back, everyone. I hope you enjoyed those 2 minutes and you put your order in, that you really reflected just for a moment on what you've been telling yourself, what you've been claiming, and is it in alignment with your purpose? It's important to check in and have that awareness, and based on that awareness, shift in the direction that makes sense for you so that you can build a powerful life. You can live on purpose and with great purpose. And our next expert, you heard her heart a bit in the beginning. We're going to have a deeper conversation so that she can share some information on how you can tap into your wiring, the wiring you were born with, the purpose you were born with. So let me share just a little bit about her. Sandra Edwards is a certified intuitive hand analyst. She has a history of over 40 years. So she's been doing this type of work for a long time, helping people through transitions, because when they can tap in to their wiring, how they're made, they're able to pass through transition powerfully and more into their purpose. She is absolutely passionate about helping you live your life on purpose. Please lean in and warmly welcome the amazing Sandra Edwards to the show. Welcome! Yay!
Yay! Hello, everyone.
We all say hello back, and we welcome you to the show/stage. Love having you.
Thank you.
Absolutely. And I'd love to start our conversation with why? Why hand analyst? Why that work? Why is it important to you to help people in this way?
Well, I found hand analysis just by chance, and it helped me immediately. It helped me understand my life and what was going on and how could I change, and it was just so wonderful, and I just want to share that with everyone.
Well, and I was thinking it must have had a really profound effect because it became what you do. Do you mind sharing just a little bit more about that event? And not that you don't have to go into the details, but how it felt to suddenly have that information open to you. I mean, so it must have been so powerful because it became what you do. I love it.
Well, it was powerful. Like, I went back to my work with this new concept. Like, it turned out that I was a healer. I'm a healer, an agent of change. And I went back to my work with a whole new sense of what was going on in my life and how I was helping people. And that was so impressive. And then there were a couple of markers in my hand that just explained so much. Like, I was having I always had communication problems, and people didn't always understand what I was talking about, and I almost decided not to really express any of my thoughts anymore because nobody ever understood them. Well, then I found out why. I found out what was going on, and I found out that I really was kind of different, and I had to pay attention and make sure that people got what I was saying, to question them and to ask them. And that made such a difference in my life, such a difference.
I love what you're sharing, because I'm hearing how you claimed, oh, I'm this, I'm a healer, I'm an agent of change, like an instant shift in perspective and almost an appreciation and understanding of who you are. That's what I hear as you're sharing some of your story, and that you were able to bring that clarity and that perspective into your life and all that you do, and it became important to make sure that communication happened. Thank you for sharing. Is that fair? A fair share?
That's very fair. Thank you. Thank you.
Well, I'm applying, making sure I'm being clear. That's perfect. Thank you, Sandra, for sharing. I appreciate that. Now, we've been talking about hands and hand analysis and certain markers, and I just wanted you to have a moment to kind of explain what is hand analysis and how does this perhaps help us tap into our life purpose to understand, it helped you understand these things. How does that work?
Well, hand analysis is really the modern version of the ancient palmistry traditions. So in modern hand analysis, we look at the fingerprint patterns to determine the life purpose and the life lesson and your basic attitude towards life. And I sort of lost my track there, but what did you ask?
Oh, that's fine. I was actually looking at my hands as you were sharing.
Yeah, that's the first thing everyone does. And then the other difference, the other difference from palmistry is that I don't give any predictions. Modern hand analysis does not predict or talk about the future, which is something that you do see in the ancient palmistry traditions. So those are the two very, very significant differences.
So what I'm hearing is that by looking at our hands, there are certain indicators in there that can help us understand our purpose, some of our wiring, perhaps even our personality style, etc. And so it's become more of a science. I've heard you say this before, that it's more of a science than an art, that there is scientific proof and a track record for what is seen in the hand and what it indicates about the individual. Would you like to share a little bit more about that, expand on that?
So the science of it, there's a neurological pathway from the brains to the hands, and I think they were kind of developed at the same time. Like the brain is informing the hand, and the hand is informing the brain, and they just work together. It just makes so much sense that we would look to our hands to find out what our life is about. It really does make sense. I know some people question that. Like, how can the hands have that kind of a message? But they do.
Well, I love knowing that it's connected, and that makes perfect sense. I like that visual or explanation of it's the hands connected to the brain connected to the hands, that there's this communication back and forth. And I have, in multiple sciences, multiple ways that we can look at the body, it's always communicating with us. And to have this visual outside way that we can learn about our internal wiring is really, really powerful. Now, in that vein of thinking, is there a key or a tip that you can share with our listeners as far as where to get started, or how they can learn a little bit more, or maybe one of the first areas they could look at on their hand to learn something about themselves?
Well, the heart line is always the heart line is the top line that starts under the pinky and moves across the palm. And where that line ends and what is happening with that line tells you so much about your emotional life. So that's just kind of a clue of how, what the hand can tell you. If it goes all... Yes?
Yeah, go ahead. No, go ahead. I was like, tell us one thing it tells us. That's perfect.
Yeah.
So if
if the line curves up to the pinky or to the first finger, the person is probably very loving and needs to have other people in their lives. And they take care of other people. They don't even realize they have needs of their own. They just take care of other people. Now, if it's a curvy line that goes up to the middle finger, well, they have to think about their own needs first before they can be available to people in the way they want to be. And they're very fiery. They need to be fast and in action and always be doing something. And if they're straight lines, the long one is about being very conscious of other people's needs, being in your head a lot, thinking about feelings, but having trouble really getting down into the body and feeling the feelings. And if it's a shorter straight line, it's someone who needs to have quiet time every day and who needs to have a sense of freedom in their life, freedom in their relationships and in their work.
Beautiful.
And so that's something that I can tell you about the hands. And you can, I'm sure you can look at your hands and determine that. If the line is broken, you probably have really challenges in having relationships.
Oh, beautiful. Well, you've given us lots to look at on our hands and that heart line, Sandra. Thank you for sharing. And I want to make sure we have time to have you share about your amazing gift, because I know, listeners, I hope you enjoyed that and you gained some insight and some ahas as you were looking at your heart line there. And I'd love to give you the floor, Sandra, and have you share a little bit about the amazing gift you've prepared for us today.
Well, it's an ebook. My gift is an ebook, and it's about communication. So it's about the heart line that we were just talking about. It's
perfect.
It has words and ways of communicating for each heart line, because each heart line is going to hear it differently and experience it differently, and so there are words and phrases to use for each heart line. And it talks about communicating in a way that people can hear you.
Beautiful. I love that, because I believe so much of our life is about connection. It's not about perfection. And now I'm visualizing as people reach out to shake our hands, we're looking at their palm and reading that. Can you see that? And reading their heart line to see the best way to communicate with them so that connection can happen. I think that's a really, really cool activity that we could step into. So thank you for your generous gift and making that available for our listeners. listeners, when we come back from our next break, I'm going to let you know how to access that gift. But as we go into this commercial break, I invite you to think about some of what Sandra has shared and just do a check-in and see if a gift like that, if tapping into some of how you are wired would help you live on purpose. We'll look forward to talking to you in just a moment.
The Voice America Women's Channel.
Tune in to the Just Jan TV show at justjantvshow.com. Visionary women's leader Jan Jorgensen is inspiring, practical, and visionary. Jan brings us everyday, transformational emerging leaders, courageously changing the world by speaking and living their truth. Sit around the table with us for profound feminine wisdom, insights, and connection. Be sure to join us at justjantvshow.com. New episodes are every Tuesday at 11 a.m. Pacific Time at justjantvshow.com.
Announcing a powerful new TV channel featuring programs designed to enhance and transform your life. Make powerful connections, one program at a time. And by doing so, we can bring transformation to the world. Tune in each week to Empowered Connections TV as we add new programs to help you make empowered connections of your own. Visit empoweredconnectionstv.com. That's empoweredconnectionstv.com. And make the most of an incredible life transformation.
Rebecca Hall Gruyter's Speaker Talent Search is looking for speakers wanting to get on more stages. With just one audition, you could open the doors to hundreds of speaking opportunities, reach more people, and expand your impact. Finalists get to audition live in front of leaders looking to fill all kinds of speaking opportunities. Apply now at speakertalentsearch.com. That's speakertalentsearch.com. We look forward to hearing your message.
We're making it easier to listen to the Voice America Talk Radio Network wherever you go. In addition to listening live, you can check out information about your favorite talk show hosts, discover new talk show personalities, add shows to your list of favorites, and listen to all our show archives on demand. All from your iPhone, BlackBerry, or Android. Download it from the Apple App Store, BlackBerry App World, or Android Market, and get ready to tune in. The Voice America mobile app, powered by Aircast.
The Voice America Women's Channel.
You're listening to Empowering Women, Transforming Lives with your host, Rebecca Hall Gruyter. If you have a question or comment for Rebecca or her guest, we'd love to hear from you. Please call into the program at 1-866-613-1612. That's 1-866-613-1612. You may also send an email to Rebecca at yourpurposedrivenpractice.com. Now back to Empowering Women, Transforming Lives.
Welcome back, everyone. I hope you took those 2 minutes just for you, giving yourself that opportunity, that time to be still, to breathe, to pause, and to reflect on what you've been telling yourself, perhaps shifting some of what we're claiming and making sure what we're claiming and we're sharing both internally and externally is really what we want to bring into our life. And then looking at that we can actually get insight into how we're wired and made, and that will help us be more on purpose, give us that clarity and understanding of ourselves and perhaps others. Really, really exciting information, really powerful. And I've asked both of my guests if they were willing to share a piece of advice or a tip or something they wanted to make sure you remembered or you knew as you go back out into the world. And so I wanted to give each of our experts an opportunity to do that. So, Mary Beth, what is on your heart to remind our listeners and share with them?
1,000 things, but I only have 90 seconds. So, the one thing that I would say is get control of your conscious mind, the monkey mind, the mind that's thinking all the time. We don't have the luxury of thinking thoughts. They just are there. And if you're not thinking your thoughts, they're thinking you. So when you hear yourself and you're brushing your teeth and you're like downing yourself in the mirror, shamed out, fear, all that kind of stuff, shut up. Say, shut up. Not today. and take control and literally unplug when you find yourself during the day or anything going anywhere away from that is good, whatever it is you're thinking. If it's not good, if it's about other people not good, stop. Stop, stop, stop. We are all one consciousness, and what you think and feel affects everyone. Unplug and or turn off a light switch and turn another one on into something good. Make something feel good. And that would be my one big thing. And there's always a rope, you guys. There's a rope there for you. So no matter what you think, depression, all that, it can all be fixed. That's a whole other story that I'll share with Rebecca, and maybe we'll share with you, something that I'm doing that can really, really help you get into your blocks.
And I'm gonna stop us there because I want to make sure everyone gets a chance to share. So thank you. So I love that reminder that to pay attention to what we're saying to ourselves, and that we can shift that conversation. We can move it into a direction that serves, because what we tell ourselves becomes what we are, what we do. So really, really pay attention to that and what you're echoing out into the universe. So great tip. Sandra, I'd love to have you share.
Well, I would like everyone to remember that each person has their own way of hearing the message and communicating. And so sometimes, people get upset that someone's not getting it. But they have just understand that they communicate differently, they think differently, and that should be a big help. That would be appreciated.
I love that reminder that we all communicate differently, and it's not that they're not listening or that they don't care. It may just be that they hear and understand and process and receive information a little bit differently.
In a different way.
Yeah, and I think if we could remember that, it would ease some of our frustration sometimes in getting messages out there.
Absolutely.
And, feeling heard. So really, really valuable reminder. Thank you. And listeners, I promised to share something with all of you, and I just saw my notes. So I want to make sure I'm doing what I promised. And that is, I promised to let you know how to access Sandra's gift. And I just really encourage you to lean into her gift of learning more about the Heartline and communication styles, exactly what we've been talking about, because it's important as we step into our purpose that we're able to connect and communicate with others. So here's what you do. You go to Radio Gifts, and that's with an S.net. Radio Gifts, it's plural with an S.net. It's a net full of multiple gifts. You want to scroll down to today's date, which is September 19th. You'll see Sandra's beautiful picture and the description of her ebook. We have you put in your name and email address so we can stay in touch. And then you'll want to do the same for her so she can send you her beautiful ebook. And I'm very excited. It's just so on target for what we've been talking about today around communication. And it might be fun. I'd love to hear if you do this, that as you get that ebook and you learn about that Heartline, perhaps when you go to shake someone's hand, you take a peek at their Heartline too and see if you're able to talk and connect with them. It would be fun to talk and connect with them in their style and just see the magic unfold. I think that would be a lot of fun and a really powerful tool in life and in business. So as we are stepping into our purpose, Sandra, thank you for that gift. Listeners, I hope you absolutely. I hope you lean in and say yes to that gift and to what is being poured into your heart, mind, soul, and spirit today, that there are some ahas that you can start applying in your life. Because you absolutely matter. You are so needed in this world. And the biggest gift that you can share with the world is more of you. Your gifts, your talents, your abilities, exactly how you're wired is on purpose. And it's for a purpose. You're made different for a reason. And I want to invite you to embrace that, to celebrate it. Be willing to take some of the tips and techniques that you heard today to claim who you are, and then be willing to share that in the journey with others. I think sometimes we try to wait till we have arrived before we share, and there is great richness in the journey and sharing the journey with others. And when we've gotten stuck along the way, how we are able to move forward so that we are able to connect in this moment and this time together. So be willing to share the gift of who you are, authentically the journey with others, and if you have a piece of advice or a tip, be willing to share that out. And some of the extra credit bonus opportunities we've given you today include the Heartline activity when you're going in to shake the hand, and you can share a little bit about the Heartline and the gift and information that you have. But I also want to invite you to reach out to someone today and remind them of how amazing you think they are. Sometimes we're so easy to judge ourselves or others and see what we feel could be improved or different. But wouldn't it be amazing if instead we changed the conversation and we shared something amazing that we see and appreciate in someone else? So I want to encourage you to do that today. Reach out and share something with somebody about how amazing they are. And wherever you go, whatever you do, may you always, always be willing and choose to bloom where you are planted and shine. Have an amazing week, everyone. Talk to you soon.
Thank you for joining us this week for Empowering Women, Transforming Lives. Please tune in again for another edition with your host, Rebecca Hall Gruyter, next Tuesday at 2 p.m. Eastern Time, 11 a.m. Pacific on the Voice America Women's Channel. And join us for a replay of the show every Wednesday at 5 p.m. Eastern Time, 2 p.m. Pacific on the Voice America Empowerment Channel. Have a beautiful week, and may you always bloom where you're planted and shine.
Thanks again for listening to the preceding program, brought to you on the Voice America Women's Channel. For more information about our network and to check out additional show hosts and topics of interest, please visit voiceamericawomen.com. The Voice America Talk Radio Network is the worldwide leader in live Internet talk radio. Visit voiceamerica.com. The views and ideas expressed on the preceding program are strictly those of the host or guests and do not necessarily reflect the views and ideas held by the Voice America Talk Radio Network, its staff, and management.